with the technology. What it was is my wireless wasn't working on my computer, and it kept sending me to a function button to fix, and that wasn't working. So I had another button that I was able to push. Finally, took me a while to figure out, but I apologize, folks. Probably what I can give you tonight is just as good as to what I could have done with everybody in the room anyway. So I'll just kind of go over a couple things. I want to share a couple documents. First of all, I'll share the syllabus here. Let's see here. There we go. All right. So with regards to work this week, we've got by next week Artifact 3D, and we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. We've already had the Google Hangout for the student expression, student rights module here, and then of course we've got the two discussion boards, Post 5 and Post 6, that you can go ahead and complete those discussion boards this week. They kind of due yesterday, but if you haven't done those, go ahead and get those done. And so that's this week's work. And kind of looking ahead to next week. Next week is student harassment and student discipline and bullying, and so make sure that's the case here. June 4th here, yeah. So we get into student harassment, bullying, student discipline. So that's a pretty big section here, and I'm sure it'll take the next couple of weeks will be fairly decent linked meetings with our Google Hangouts on Mondays. So you have Volume 1, Chapters 8 and 20 to look at this for the next week's Google Hangout and discussion boards. And that is this week's assignments. If you have any questions, please send me an email. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up for you the Evidence 3D. This is the biggest part of tonight anyway. And so what you're looking for on 3D here is regards to the marketing plan. And this is the marketing plan for your, really the marketing plan is one of your strategic plans for your stakeholder involvement plan. And so what you've got to do here on this part here is you're creating, how do I market? How do I market to the community, to the parents, to teachers, to be involved in whatever stakeholder involvement idea that you have, whether it's getting more business support for the schools or trying to grow your PTAs and those types of things. So how am I going to market it? And of course you've got various ways, various mediums in which you market. Connect Edge, you've got brochures, you've got website types of things. And so what you've got to do, there are several components in here. So looking at, let's just go to the Proficient, because this particular evidence, everything builds upon itself. So let's just go ahead and go to the Proficient, because that's what you've got to have. First one is the candidate researches the components and the purposes of the marketing plan. So what's the purpose of your marketing plan for your project, for your stakeholder involvement plan? And you could put that in a paragraph. A couple paragraphs should probably cover that in a paper. Second section of this is the candidate works with others to develop the marketing plan with timeline, feedback, components, evaluation, and reflection. So I'm going to be looking for several things. You need to talk about how you've worked with others to create this plan. That's the first part. Second thing is you need to have, basically it's kind of like a site-based plan, a strategic plan, where you have the timelines, you have the evaluation part, okay, and then you want to cover things, the feedback and the reflection. Okay, the feedback is the feedback from your group or from the parents. How can you do a Survey Monkey? to get feedback from them. How are you going to do that? And the reflection is your own reflection on the process and putting together this plan. It's not about were we successful or not, but what were some things that what were some bumps in the road? What were some things that went well? If you had to do it all over again, what are some things that you would do? You can cover that in that section. And then the last part is the candidate works with others to develop an implementation plan for marketing. It's a little bit more in depth than the previous part that I just had above that. But it's basically your time. It's your time. What am I going to? Long-term goals, long-term strategies, short-term strategies, short-term goals, and what's it going to take again for resources, human resources, financial resources to actually make this marketing plan pay off. Okay, so that's really it. It's very simple. What you could also one thing I would invite you to do that's been fairly successful from my classes since the beginning of this course is you could put together a brochure through Microsoft Office or whatever software you have, put a brochure together that you can include as in your artifacts for your evidence for your marketing plan. So that's it. Please, if you've got any questions regarding marketing plan, I'll be happy to answer those at any time. In the meantime, that really kind of concludes the class. I again apologize for the technology, and hopefully by the time I get halfway through this course, I hope I've got all this down and figure this out. But I will send you the link here in just a little bit, and send me questions that you have at any time. Thanks a lot. Have a great night.